Alright, so I'm back, and what I'm going to show you today is pretty much checking your blood sugar. Depending on your doctor, you might have to check it 2 to 3 times a day, maybe even more. For me, I usually check it 2 to 3 times a day. That's the normal. I checked it once today. I haven't been able to check it because of classes and whatnot. So I'm going to show you what you need to check your blood sugar. These right here, they're called they're your test strips. I don't know if you can see it okay. But these are the test strips that I use. I use AccuCheck Aviva, so this is the example I'm going to use for people who take AccuCheck Aviva. I'm going to get a nice close-up of that as I get ready for my blood sugar test. Depending on your insurance, you can get blood strips that cost no more than 15 bucks. And it's definitely been helpful if you're strained. This is your meter, your AccuCheck Aviva meter. I'm going to show you this right here. This is the extra tool that I use to test. Now, when it is time to get a new thing of test strips, you will usually receive one of these in the box. This is your coder, and it's important that you put this code in. I know they're making some test strips that doesn't have the coding. I think this is highly annoying, but whatever. So we slide it into this compartment like so. You have your power switch, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And what I usually like to do is I prepare my diabetes testing before I actually clean my finger and I begin to prick it. Alright, so this is my handy dandy test poking device. It's very easy to use. As you can see, there's going to be a yellow light a yellow color right here, meaning that it's ready. So I haven't been able to do it yet because this was still from the last test. I shown you that. Alright, so when you do your test strips, I recommend you preparing it before you actually get your finger ready for it. And just a word to the wise, if you're doing blood sugar tests, it'll definitely help if you do it with your middle finger. It won't be as bad and your finger won't hurt as bad if you do it with your middle finger or even really your ring finger. Don't do the thumb, don't do the pinky, don't do the index. Alright, so now that we got that straight, this is a slot to put the test strip into your test meter. So we're going to put it in like that. And usually it's able to recognize what your code number is that I showed you. So right here, you see the little flashing thing with the blood drip? That means it's ready for my blood. It wants some of my blood, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. First, I'm going to push this in, my testy pokey thingy in, and as you can see, it is yellow, so that means it's ready. Another thing is sterilization. It is the key. So also what I packed in my diabetes testing kit is some alcohol swabs to make sure that the testing is clean and sanitized as necessary. So we're going to go ahead and open the alcohol swabs up. And I like it that it comes with two. You've expanded. Okay, so I'm going to get my middle finger clean. It's definitely important to do that. So I'm going to test it and I'm going to let it dry so that way it won't be as wet. And that's the key thing. You want to have your finger dry before you poke yourself. And luckily my meter is still on. Hey. Alright, so the numbers on the side on the testing device is the penetration on how the needle will go in. I'm a 3. I mean, I can tolerate some pain, but not a lot of pain. And that's mostly the custom for people. Usually they're a 2.5, 3, maybe a 3.5. 4 and 5, you're just asking for too much. And actually 1 or 2, it won't penetrate as much when you test it, so you won't get a lot of blood out. So you want to make sure you have just the right amount of blood to record, so that way it can record this yellow part right here. That's when you want to get enough blood to do that. It's also very important too to record your testing results Usually, I know Accucheck does this. I don't know what other diabetes testing supplies do, but they usually come equipped with a diary for monitoring your blood sugar. Definitely, definitely, definitely important to do that. Okay, well, my meter just turned off, so I'm going to turn my meter back on like so. And it's going to recognize the code, 468. And now it's going to recognize that it's ready for me to give some blood. Alright, so I'm going to poke myself right now, or call it pricking, poking. My brother likes to call it poke, and this is where he's like terrified. And it's really not that bad. It doesn't hurt that bad. It's like someone snapping a rubber band. Alright. Hopefully we can see some blood. Oh, we got some blood. Now the question is it enough blood? So you kind of have to squeeze with it and play with it. So most likely I might have to do this process all over again because I don't think this is enough blood. And that happens. Usually I try to poke the same area so that way it can do it all in one time. So I'm thinking I got enough, just enough. So that's all it needs, just a little bit. And now carefully I'm going to get some blood on my test strip. And now it's calculating. And this is immediate. After you do your testing, definitely make sure that that area is clean again. We don't want blood all over the place. Alright, so it looks like my blood sugar is 149. It's a little bit high than what I want it to be, but it's not overly high because I just had lunch. So, and also when you test, it's best to test 2 hours after you eat or 2 hours before you eat, if whatever your doctor says. So that way the food would have had enough time to digest and break down. But actually 149, that's really not that bad for my type. I would have wanted a little lower, but hey, that's why I can work it out. And also, you might also want to check your blood sugar if you do strenuous exercise, like if you're going to walk for more than a mile. And again, just usually do that like an hour after, so that way it can get a new reading. So I'm going to write down my blood sugar. And since I've been slacking on my testing, I might fit in one more for the night. So usually I might take that after I have dinner or before I go to bed. But it's definitely important to get your blood sugar tested the first thing when you wake up. So just to see how the body did while you were sleeping. I call that the fast check. And that's usually the your first testing. So once you get up. So that's it. Nothing to it. Nothing to it but to do it, I guess, and get motivated. And you become accustomed to it. Like if you're a recent diagnosis of diabetes, I know you kind of cringe at the thought you have to poke yourself every day and you have to see blood every day. But once you get used to it, it's pretty easy, and you become accustomed to having your middle finger feeling like somebody's snapping a rubber band at you, because that's what it feels like pain-wise. It's really not that bad, but again, I highly recommend setting your test device to 3, if all possible. 4 and 5 would probably be too bad. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments on my blog, or feel free to reply to the message at the end of the video. And we'll see you next time on the Diabetic Dialogues. Bye. Take care.